All right, so this is just a continuation of right where we were on timeline. So we had just gotten our logo in, and we just got to the point where we had it move in a diamond shape. And now what I was showing you was how can you go back into an edited timeline and change it some more. So what I'm doing is I'm having mine change angles, and it's like going to get bigger and smaller as it goes through. So right here, I was on the 2-second mark. So I'm going to click on my yellow Silly Salmon logo. And now I'm going to put the size back down to normal, which is 380 by 150. Okay, so it'll shrink down, and I'm going to change the angle again. Let's go to 90 this time. So it's going to rotate that way. And then I have to reset the timeline. So I have to right click down here on the title 20, and I have to do set keyframes to actually have that set in and change. Okay. For some reason, my angle didn't stay there. I don't know why that didn't stay at 90. Let me try it again. And then, oh yeah, I probably didn't press enter to like make it set in. So let me try again, set keyframes. There we go, now it stayed. So yeah, you have to make sure when you type the properties in, you have to press enter for it to like actually set in. All right, so now I'm gonna go back. So now if I just hold control on the ruler with my finger or my mouse over the ruler, hold control, drag until it's in the next spot that you want to. So right there. Okay, so now here I'm gonna have it get big again, which it already is. No, I want it 570 by 225 here. 225. And then I do want the angle to be 180 here. Okay. And then what we'll do, that all looks good. Okay, and then I'm going to go ahead down here and I'm going to do set keyframes. Okay, I don't know why that didn't set. Try it again. I don't know why it really wants to go 150 here, not 225. 225. Try it again. Okay. And then I'm going to click on something else and then set the keyframes again. Okay, now it's set. For some reason, it wanted to be glitchy. Okay, and then we're going to hold control back down on my timeline. And then we're going to have that go back to the beginning. And I'll leave the angle at 0. I'll leave the angle at 0, but I'm going to put the size back to normal, 380 by 150. Okay, we'll try that out. Okay, and then I'll just click around and we'll set the keyframes. Yeah, I don't know why. Okay, for some reason I'm going to have to do it twice. I don't know why it's doing that. Anyways, but it's just to show you that you can change things. 150, and actually I want the angle to be back to 0 here. Put it back to normal. Okay, and then let's go ahead and set keyframes. Okay, for some reason the last one I'm putting in just doesn't want to set. Okay, we'll try it again. Set keyframes. There we go. Okay, so now what should happen is I should be able to press play. And you can see it like rotates, gets bigger and smaller. It's just kind of this crazy wonky thing. Okay, but that's just a demo to show you that you can change size, you can change angle, you can change properties. This could even be like for instance variables or whatever. Any values you would want to change, you should be able to do that here. Okay, so there's kind of my silly animation that's happening. Now, there are different animation options for this. So I can pause this. If I click on timeline here at the top, so right here, there's something called an ease mode. And the ease mode is the type of movement. So right now it's on linear. So it's just gradually kind of growing and shrinking and moving based on what I put in for my keyframes. But you can change this. So let's say I pick this one, and then I can preview it. And you'll see the movement style will be kind of different. Okay, it's kind of flowing a little bit differently. Okay, so I could try one of these. So I could try this elastic one. Here's what elastic does. It's like kind of getting pulled into each section. So you could kind of create some cool intro animations with this. Okay, and then let's try another one. There's one that's called bounce. So let's try bounce. So it's kind of just bouncing around. Okay, so I kind of actually like this elastic one, so I'm going to try that. Okay, and I think I've got my timeline pretty much done. Now, if you run the game, nothing will happen. So just like anything in Construct, you have to tell the computer like when this timeline is going to play. So in order to get this to work, the first thing we have to do is we have to double click like we're making a sprite. Oh, hold on, before I do this, I want to get out of edit mode just to make sure. So click on that pencil again so that you're not in edit mode on the timeline and you're kind of back to normal. Then I'm going to double click, and Instead of making a sprite or a keyboard, there's actually something in here called the timeline. So you can just call it a timeline, and now that's in my game, and I can code with it. So I go to my ES start. I already have an on start of layout, so I can add an action for timeline, and all I have to do is tell it to play. And it'll ask me which timeline I want to play, and I'll click it. So now if I go to my start screen and I run it, I should have my elastic animated silly salmon bouncing around. See? Yep, and then you can see my text up there. It's bouncing around, doing the thing that I told it to do. And I don't know, it's kind of animated. It looks pretty cool. So this could be a really, I see this being a really well applied to like a title screen or something. But there could be other aspects like within a game you'd want to use. But I think timelines could be really, really cool. So that's basically it there. I did post a link to like, if the video didn't make sense to you or you just prefer to read it, there is like an article that explains pretty much everything I did, posted right in there as well. Okay.